Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Fight between corporate area students leads to at least one school closure. Correctional officers stage protest at Horizon Remand Center over compensation. And later in sports, Windows women claim first match of ODI series versus Pakistan. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shane Masters, and here are the details. An ongoing feud among students of several high schools in the corporate area has forced the precautionary closure of at least one institution, and the Police and Education Ministry getting involved. More in the report. Passengers making quick their escape from this coaster bus in Halfway Tree St. Andrew earlier this week. The reason? A squabble between a student from the Mona High and Calabar High schools in the corporate area. It's alleged that the dispute began over a girl from another school. But what could have ended easily through communication turned into a major fight involving other young men from several other schools, including Campion and Kingston College. It has led to at least one school closing its doors for the remainder of the week. In a post to its school app, headmaster of Mona High School, Kevin Jones, said due to the ongoing violence involving students from several corporate area high schools, a decision has been taken to close the school to protect the lives of the students. Mr. Jones says the administration is in contact with the police and will continue to monitor the situation until it is safe for students to return to the physical space. Senior Superintendent Marlon Nesbeth is the commanding officer for the St. Andrew Central Division.
Since the latter part of last week, it came to our notice about some conflicts within the schools and across schools. So we have some intervention processes since then. We saw some escalation of the conflicts since early this week into yesterday, especially in the Halfway Tree area. Transcending further into Spanish Town spaces that these same students traverse. These students hail from Mona, incident involving them on Calabar, regarding students even attached to Queen's High School, Campion College, Kingston College, and many other schools. So we have a serious situation on our hands.
SSP Nesbeth says there will also be increased police presence in the areas frequented by students.
The newly formed Beat Officer on Patrol Division that covers many of these places that the students traverse is fully on board. So they have the police in the areas directly around this particular matter today and onwards also to make sure that the conflicts don't escalate.
In the meantime, the Mona High principal says he has held discussions with his students involved in the dispute and the general population. Mr. Jones says administrators of the schools are also engaged in developing a coordinated response to the violence.
We had a meeting yesterday on the phone, a conference call, and that was between Calabar High School principal, Jamaica College principal, and of course, and myself. Because I understand now that JC is being drawn in it, and then Papine wants to get involved as well. Because a lot of the schools, I was told, are sympathetic to Mona High School because our boys were the victims. So we will have further discussion on the entire thing. I'll be making a couple calls today.
The island's correctional officers are restive over the delay in completing their compensation review. The officers assigned to the Horizon Adult Remand Center in Kingston have taken action. Chairman of the Jamaica Federation of Corrections, Arlington Turner, says the officers are at work but are not carrying out their normal duties. This has disrupted the collection of food items from relatives of prisoners who went today with that expectation. After serving the people of Trelawney Southern as an independent councillor candidate since 2011, Paul Patmore says he will be joining the ranks of the opposition for the upcoming general elections. Details in this report. Without a current member of parliament in Southern Trelawney, Paul Patmore is looking to turn the political tide in that constituency. The constituency has been without an MP since September last year when Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert stepped down as Speaker of the House and MP following an Integrity Commission report. Speaking with TVJ News recently, Mr. Pat Moore, who was a JLP councillor before becoming an independent in 2011, says he believes he has the impetus and the people behind him to change the views of the constituents.
Persons have asked me to come and represent them, and so I indicated to the People's National Party that I would like to be the candidate. The party have responded well. As you know, the PNP operate from the bottom up. So the party, no matter who come, they will have to listen. They will listen to the people. And so far, the people is saying Pat Moore. And so we move from the people now to the executive of this constituency. And things is looking good on that side. Then we're going to move now to the hierarchy of the party.
One of his key focus areas will be the Lormas division, which is a stronghold in the constituency for the Jamaica Labour Party.
Even though it is said that is one of their strong divisions, they only have out of 7,000 voters, they just merely, even in a general election, reach 2,500 votes. So that means that there's still almost 5,000 persons who still don't choose to vote for them. So there I know that I have those to work on.
Mr. Pat Moore says he's banking on his popularity from running as an independent councillor candidate to gain the favour with the people.
I'm even stronger now, being a JP since being the president of the Lima CDC, where presently we have projects going on through the Lima CDC. We're talking about the Mendistone Road. That's one of the projects that this Lima CDC, where I'm the president of.
The PNP MP hopeful says he is not perturbed by any member of the Jamaica Labour Party who will oppose him in the upcoming elections. This following questions of the support base for the former MP, Marissa Dalrymple Philibert.
The only foundation that Mama D have left is it shows that she's a great distributor of scarce benefits and spoils. That's the only thing she have ever done to South Trelawney. The main road from Lina Parish to Ulster Spring was done 3 years ago. And today I can tell you it's a disgrace. And that's one of the things that I'll be taking up with the NWA whenever I become the Member of Parliament.
The St. James Health Department says it is seeing a reduction in the dengue index for the parish. According to Public Health Inspector for the parish, Nadia Burgess, the AD's indices is now at 8%, while the Bratu index is at 15% as at the end of last month. The data was revealed at the latest sitting of the St. James Municipal Corporation.
We were able to visit 22,626 premises throughout the parish, and 1,866 of these premises were positive for mosquito breeding. We continue our activities in our high-risk communities. So these are communities that has a high AD's index, a high Bratu index, as well as issues with water distribution.
The health officer for the parish, Dr. Phillips Kelly, says with the decline in the indices, there was a correlating decline in cases of dengue.
To date, we have had a total of 1,415 suspected cases that have been notified since the start of the outbreak. Of that number, we have 174 that were confirmed, and that gives us a rather high positivity rate, but in the last, this is up to March 27, we haven't had any significant number of notifications since that time.
And it's time for a break here on the Midday News. Stay with us, more stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. An elderly Cantor farmer in St. Thomas is reeling from losses suffered at the hands of predial thieves. According to the farmer, about 8 o'clock Monday evening, he went to check on his cattle and discovered them missing. He raised an alarm and residents went in search of the animals. Now, they say a suspicious Toyota Hiace bus was seen leaving the area sometime after 10 o'clock and they gave chase. The police were called and the bus was later intercepted in the Cambridge Hill area. 3 men aboard then exited the vehicle and made good their escape in nearby bushes. Now, 4 carcasses and a calf, which is just 3 months old, were found in the bus.
I lost my 5 cow.
Last year?
5 cow. but I get back a calf about in December. So, those cow, them thief them and kill them. One, we drop between this to the new month come and shake out the calf one time.
Now, he says the cows are valued at least $2 million. The bus with the carcass was taken to the Yalis police station, where the meat was examined on Tuesday by personnel from the health department and condemned. The police are investigating. And it's now time for the Business Minute. Jamaica's manufacturing industry earned 11.4% less from exports for January to November 2023. Statin says the industry made $794.4 million. The decline was linked to lower earnings from the other manufactured products subcategory. Exports from other manufactured products were valued at $447.3 million, 22.7% lower than the January to November 2022 period. Now, Statin says this was due primarily to lower exports of refined petroleum products, which decreased by 22.5%. Further afield, Toyota has issued a recall on 55,000 cars in the U.S. It applies to the 2023 to 2024 Prius and Prius HEV vehicles. The world's largest automaker says water can enter the rear door latch and cause a short circuit. And America's debt problem and high interest rates could wreak havoc on the world's financial stability. That's according to the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. The U.S. government's rising debt and high interest rates could cause borrowing costs around the world to spike. Now, a spike in yields on U.S. government bonds are associated with surges in government bonds elsewhere, according to the IMF. Now, the agency says that puts pressure on global interest rates and pushes up the cost of borrowing in the rest of the world. And that's it for the Business Minute. Time now for the top region. And we head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report.